हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, कैसे आप सभी? आई होप सब बहुत अच्छे होंगे और रेडी हैं स्टडी के लिए. सो टुडे टॉपिक इज ऑन comprehension. So let's read. Mr. John is my teacher. Life is full of surprise and so are people in different ways. I remember Mr. Jones, he was only a junior master in my school. Bishop Cotton School in Shimla. Most of his colleagues there looked upon him with a certain amusement, tinged and disdain, for he was one of those rare people who did not believe in corporal punishment and refused to administer it. 50 years ago, flogging was still the order of the day, especially in boarding schools. Most teachers, even some prefects, were expected to cane the boys under their command, and many of them did so. Not so Mr. Jones. He refused to cane anyone. As a result, he was considered soft and old-fashioned, although he was really ahead of time. His principal stand resulted in a loss of sincerity and the chance of rising to any heights in the school hierarchy. Not that this bothered Mr. Jones. A simple Welshman who had fought in the First World War, had seen suffering at first hand, and so on, met in inflicting pain on anyone, least of all on a schoolboys. It made no sense to him. On holidays, I would call on him to borrow books. He had a complete set of Dickens and he lent the volumes to me one at a time until I had gone through the entire works. From sketches by Bose to our mutual friends. Reading became my religion, authorship my goal. So next is based on the recycled paper. So let's start. The next time you take printouts unnecessarily or throw a paper into the bin, think for a minute as you how many trees have been felled to manufacture something you use so often every day. Can you take out some time for your everyday routine and develop it to starting a simple recycling program at your school or your neighborhood? Not only would you save our planet from the torture of losing greenery, but how would you reduce generating and dumping waste into the environment? Using recycled paper conserves natural resources. You can drastically reduce the number of trees cut down for manufacturing paper. In addition to saving landfill space, you cut down on your expenses of trash disposal. There is a reduction in the air pollution caused due to incineration. A paper cycling program gives a positive image to large corporations or business. Parents can teach their children the importance of using recycled paper by bringing about simple change in the lifestyle. Depending on the pulp used and the quality of paper manufactured, paper is divided into two grades. Some of the criteria include raw materials, appearance, performance, manufacturing, process and cycling and uses. High-grade papers are used for computer printouts, colored lasers and office purpose. Notebook papers, letterheads and copy papers are also examples of high-grade papers. Examples of low-grade papers include magazines, cardboard and newspaper. Mixed office paper are also a type of low-grade paper used for envelopes, sticky notes, cards and phone books. Okay, next is a clever judgment. So let's read about a clever judgment. Birbal was a popular minister at Emperor Akbar's court. His wit and intelligence earned him name and fame. Akbar summoned Birbal whenever he needed help to solve some issue. Emperor Akbar was a jewelry lover. He owned a collection of exotic rings made of precious stones. His favorite among his possessions was a large diamond ring surrounded by pearls. Akbar's jewelry and clothes were managed by his 8 servants who assisted him every day to get ready. No one else was allowed to enter this part of the palace. One day, Akbar found his ring missing. A frantic search was conducted all over the palace, but in vain. Birbal was called to the court to solve this mystery. Birbal wondered about the circumstances in which the ring had gone missing and came up with a brilliant idea. He called all the servants who were in charge and gave them a stick each. He told them that those were magic sticks and all of them had been cut to the same size. The stick would identify who was responsible for this robbery and would grow exactly an inch the next day. He asked them to assemble at the court the next day without fail. All the 8 servants came to the court as agreed. Birbal examined the sticks and caught hold of the servants who was the thief. The servant pleaded an apology. It was the king's turn to be surprised now. He asked Birbal how he could identify the thief. Birbal showed the sticks to the king. One of them was exactly an inch short. The thief had believed Birbal's stories and cut the sticks short by an inch to escape being identified. So next comprehension is, which is Maria Montessori. So let's read. Maria Montessori was born in Chiaravale near Ancona, Italy in 1870s. As a little girl, she was a dull student, unable to grasp and retain what her teachers taught her. At the age of 10, she suddenly changed. Besides her highlighted interest in religion, she felt she had a long way to go. Maria began topping her class, and her parents felt that she should become a teacher, but she was determined to become an engineer. At the age of 14, she attended a technical school for boys. After a year, she took up biology and decided to study medicine. In spite of a strong opposition from her father, she went ahead with medicine. Maria became the first Italian woman to receive a medical degree after she graduated from her University of Rome 1886. After getting her degree, she joined the university psychiatric clinic. As a part of her duty, she had to visit the city's mental asylum where disabled children were housed with the insane. She watched the children shriek, stretching their hands out with an urge to reach out or to touch something. Maria felt they needed a normal and friendlier environment for a contact with the world. She worked out ways by which she could help the disabled children. Dr. Baselli opened an experimental state school for disabled children with Dr. Maria Montessori as its head. Maria spent long hours, almost 12 hours of the day with children, observing them and finding out what could really help them. After 2 years of hard work, her students took the normal state of school examination, and her children proved that they were not hopeless cases. In fact, many did almost as well as other normal children. So next comprehension is, which is based on knowledge or attire. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was a highly dynamic social activist and intellectual during the 19th century, often referred to as the pillar of Bengal Renaissance. He was known for his scholastic achievements as an educator, Sanskrit Pandit, polymath, philanthropist, as well as a writer. Vidyasagar was well known as an orator also. Many a time he was invited for giving public speeches. Vidyasagar always wore the traditional dhoti kurta for all kinds of occasions. During one such party, he was stopped at the entrance by the gatekeeper. He was not allowed inside the party since he did not follow the dress code. Vidyasagar quietly left the place and came back to the venue after changing into the formal suit. The gatekeeper could not recognize him and allowed him to enter the party. During dinner, Vidyasagar started talking to his clothes. He poured coffee into his shirt pockets. He was prodding his suit to eat food. The host of the party and the guests stood bewildered. Vidyasagar explained that since respect to the individuals was not given for their intellect but just for their appearance, it is the clothes that have no felicitated and not the brains. So बच्चे कंप्रीहेंशन के बारे में हमने पढ़ा और कितने एग्जाम्पल्स हमने देखे हैं यहाँ पर 4 to 5 एग्जाम्पल्स हमने देखे किस तरह से आप एक्सपीरियंस कर सकते हैं कि हाउ कैन यू राइट द कॉम्प्रीहेंशन. सो आपको भी ऐसी प्रैक्टिस करनी है कॉम्प्रिहेंशन लिखने की और थोरोली रीड करना है कि किस तरह से उसका फॉर्मेट तैयार हुआ है। सो स्टूडेंट्स देखते रहेंगे और थैंक यू स्टूडेंट्स, थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग बच्चों।